Part 11 of Work of the Sisters During the Epidemic of Influenza, October 1918, by Francis Edward TOURSCHER. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Part 11. Deceased Sisters, Franciscans. Sister Mary Clarina died October 9, 1918, at St. Elizabeth's School, Philadelphia, where she had taught since her profession in 1915. She was formerly Miss Rose Kelly of Wilmington, Delaware. Sister Mary Saturnia died October 10, 1918, at the Provincial House, 1810 Spring Garden Street, Philadelphia. She was stricken with the influenza while teaching at the Catholic Girls' High School, Philadelphia, where she had been stationed since 1913. She was known in the world as Miss Margaret McCow of Wilmington, Delaware. She made her profession in October 1912 and was sent to teach a class of boys in St. Peter Claver's School, colored, Baltimore, Maryland. Sister Mary Euphrasia was known in the world as Miss Mary Pollux of Philadelphia. She received the Franciscan habit in 1909, made her profession 2 years later, and was sent to Holy Family School, Shenandoah, Pennsylvania, to take charge of the domestic department there. In 1917, she was transferred to St. Mauritius School, Ashland, Pennsylvania. During the epidemic, she contracted the influenza while doing relief work in the parish and died October 26, 1918. Sister Mary Carina, formerly Miss Mary Mott of New Haven, Connecticut, did splendid work among influenza sufferers in St. Joseph's Parish, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, in which school she had been teaching since 1910. She contracted the disease and died November 6, 1918. Sister Carina made her profession in August 1909, and her first mission was St. Elizabeth's School, Philadelphia. From St. Elizabeth, she was transferred to Lancaster. Sister Mary Phillip was stationed at Glen Riddle, where she assisted in caring for the aged in St. Elizabeth Home. During the epidemic, she took an active part in nursing the influenza victims in the surrounding villages, especially in the homes of the poor. She was known in the world as Miss Cecilia McGinley of Philadelphia. She entered the religious life in 1915 and died January 2, 1919. Sisters of the Holy Child. Mother Maria Aloysia, Ava St. John Annette, daughter of James Annette and Isabel McGee, born June 24, 1881. She entered the novitiate January 1900, made her first vows September 1902, and taught at the Academy of the Holy Child, Sharon Hill, Pennsylvania, St. Michael's, Chester, Pennsylvania, St. Leonard's, St. James, Assumption, Philadelphia, Academy of the Holy Child, Cheyenne, Wyoming, St. Edward's School, Philadelphia, again at St. James, where she was at the time of her death, October 15, 1918. Sisters of the Immaculate Heart. Sister Mary Verena. She was Agnes McGuckin, daughter of Michael McGuckin and Catherine Murray, and was born in Chester, Pennsylvania, March 17, 1885. She entered the novitiate at Villa Maria, Westchester, Pennsylvania, March 25, 1905. Received the Holy Habit August 2, 1905. Made her profession August 15, 1907. Sister labored at the missions at St. Veronica's, Philadelphia, St. John Baptist, Manomic, St. Gabriel's, Philadelphia. She died at St. Gabriel's, a victim of influenza, October 17, 1918. Sister Mary Inviolata. She was Mary Campbell, daughter of Patrick Campbell and Catherine Henry of Philadelphia, and was born in Philadelphia September 1, 1889. She entered the novitiate at Villa Maria, Westchester, Pennsylvania, February 2, 1907. Received the Holy Habit August 15, 1907. Made her profession August 2, 1909. Sister labored zealously at the missions at Our Lady's, Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania, St. Cecilia's, Coatesville, Pennsylvania, St. Agatha's, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. When the call came for volunteers to nurse the epidemic victims at the Philadelphia hospital, Sister offered her services generously. She contracted the influenza, which at first assumed a very light form. Later, pneumonia developed, and with the greatest resignation to the divine will, Sister Inviolata gave her soul to God October 26, 1918, at our convent at St. Agatha's, Philadelphia. Sister Mary Claris. She was Ellen O'Connor, daughter of James N. O'Connor and Ellen Brogan, and was born at Dusher, Pennsylvania, July 27, 1885. She entered the novitiate at Villa Maria, Westchester, Pennsylvania, August 15, 1907, received the holy habit December 31, 1907, made her profession December 28, 1909. Sister labored at the missions at Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and at Germantown, Pennsylvania. She was the first beloved member of the community to be taken by the dread disease. With beautiful resignation, she breathed forth her pure soul to her divine master October 2, 1918, at Germantown, Pennsylvania. Sister Mary Florentinus. She was Mary Hilly, daughter of James Hilly and Anna M. Burke, and was born in Philadelphia, August 20, 1889. She entered the novitiate at Villa Maria, Westchester, Pennsylvania, September 8, 1910. Received the holy habit December 29, 1910. Made her profession December 30, 1912. Sister labored faithfully at the missions at St. Francis Xavier's, Philadelphia, and St. Agatha's, Philadelphia, again at St. Francis Xavier's, Philadelphia, where she died in peace October 9, 1918. Sister Mary Wendelin. She was Alice Becker, daughter of Wendelin Becker and Mary Ackerman, and was born May 14, 1888. She entered the novitiate at Villa Maria, Westchester, Pennsylvania, September 8, 1910, received the holy habit December 29, 1910, made her profession December 30, 1912. Sister labored at the missions at St. Anthony's, Philadelphia, St. Francis de Sales, Philadelphia, St. Thomas Aquinas, Philadelphia. She died most peacefully at our mission of St. Thomas Aquinas, October 8, 1918. Sister Rita Maria. She was Mary E. Ratto, a daughter of Joseph Ratto and Margaret Donovan, and was born in Philadelphia, August 9, 1892. She entered the novitiate at Villa Maria, Westchester, Pennsylvania, September 8, 1912, received the holy habit December 30, 1912, made her first vows December 30, 1914. She labored on the missions at St. Agnes, Westchester, Pennsylvania, St. Agatha's, Philadelphia, St. Ignatius, Centralia, Pennsylvania, St. Joseph's, Frackville, Pennsylvania, Most Blessed Sacrament, Philadelphia, St. John Baptist High School, Manioc. She contracted the influenza in school, probably from some of her pupils who were afflicted with the disease, and on the 12th of October, 1918, she died most peacefully at the convent of St. John Baptist, Manioc. Sister Louise Marie. She was Mary Gertrude Zipf, daughter of Carl Zipf and Carolyn Kiefer, and was born at Norristown, Pennsylvania, December 27, 1893. She entered our convent at Villa Maria, Westchester, Pennsylvania, September 8, 1913, received the holy habit December 30, 1913, made her first vows December 29, 1915. She labored faithfully on the missions at St. Anthony's, Philadelphia, St. Francis de Sales, Philadelphia, Jesu, Philadelphia. Sister was one of the first victims of the epidemic, and though all available medical skill was called into requisition, she died peacefully at the convent of the Jesu, October 8, 1918. Sister Mary Joachim. She was Mary Duffy, and born at Philadelphia, February 15, 1897. She entered the novitiate March 25, 1917, received the holy habit August 16, 1917. Though Sister was stationed on our mission at St. Joseph's, Frackville, Pennsylvania, for only 1 month, her eager generosity and deep religious spirit endeared her to the hearts of all with whom she came in contact. These virtues, too, have left an indelible impress upon the members of the novitiate, who sincerely mourn the loss of one of their most beloved and revered members. Sister died most peacefully at the convent of St. Joseph's, Frackville, Pennsylvania, October 10, 1918. Miss Nora Cogger. She was born in Ireland, September 3, 1895. She entered the convent at Villa Maria, Westchester, Pennsylvania, July 2, 1918. She died October 17, 1918. Sisters of St. Joseph. Sister Irma Aloysia, formerly Ella G. Vessels. She was born in St. Michael's Parish in June 1899. At the time of her death, she was engaged in teaching in the school of Our Mother of Sorrows. She did not attend any sick in person, but it was thought she contracted the disease from some of the children, as no sister in the convent had it. Sister was taken to the Misericordia Hospital, where she was visited by the Right Reverend Bishop McCourt. After making her holy vows, she went to God on September 29th, St. Michael's Day, 1918, aged 19. Sister Mary Rose Catherine. She was formerly Catherine Kelly and was born in 1893. She entered the novitiate in 1913, made her vows in 1915, and taught in St. Columba's parochial school for 4 years. When the hospital at St. Columba's was opened, she took her share in the work and contracted the disease while nursing. She died October 18, 1918. Sister Frances Xavier, formerly Catherine McGarvey, was born in Philadelphia in 1888. She entered the novitiate in 1910 and was later sent to teach at the Visitation BVM School, Philadelphia, where she died October 21, 1918, aged 30 years. Sister Mary Florentine, formerly Mary Craven. She entered the novitiate August 16, 1883, made her vows August 17, 1885. Her first mission was at St. Philip's, Philadelphia. From St. Philip's she was sent to St. Mary's Convent, Lonaconning, Maryland, then to St. Anne's Widows' Asylum, Philadelphia, where she had charge of the sick. For the last 15 years of her life, she was infirmarium at St. Charles Seminary, Overbrook, where she died a victim of influenza, October 22, 1918. Patient, kind, and a faithful religious, beloved by all who knew her. Sister Mary Cyprian, formerly Catherine A.C. Marley, aged 25 years. She entered the novitiate in 1916, taught at the School of the Most Precious Blood, and died of the influenza October 23, 1918. She made her vows on her deathbed at Mount St. Joseph, Chestnut Hill, Pennsylvania. Sister Mary Frances Bernard, formerly Marie Kavanaugh, aged 25 years. She entered the novitiate January 1914, died October 29, 1918, at St. Clair, Pennsylvania. Sister Mary Catherine, formerly Margaret McBride, aged 29 years, entered the novitiate September 1909, taught in the schools of Our Lady of the Rosary, St. Francis of Assisi, Holy Souls, Most Precious Blood, and for the last 5 years of her life in the English department of the Catholic Girls' High School, Philadelphia. She died October 25, 1918, at Mount St. Joseph's Convent, Chester Hill, Pennsylvania. Sister Mary Charles Borromeo, formerly Marie F. Doyle, aged 26 years, graduate of Business College, entered the novitiate, taught in St. Michael's, St. Leo's, Tacony, Ardmore, and Chester, and died in Chester, Pennsylvania, of influenza, October 25, 1918. Letter of the Archbishop authorizing the opening of parish buildings, halls, and schools for the use of the sick, also the nursing and relief work of uncloistered sisters. Archbishop's Residence, 1723 Race Street, Philadelphia, October 10, 1918. During the influenza epidemic, permission is given to utilize church edifices, particularly halls and parochial schools, as hospitals. Permission is also granted for uncloistered sisters to serve as nurses. If need be, the aid of the St. Vincent de Paul Societies should be utilized in each parish. The members of these societies can help to nurse the patients and also open kitchens to provide soup and other foods for the sick. These foods could be brought to the doors of the suffering by messengers, particularly by the schoolboys. It is left to each pastor to devise the best means to combat the epidemic in his own parish. Priests and nuns are advised to obtain and use masks while attending those attacked by influenza. Very affectionately yours, D.J. Doherty, Archbishop of Philadelphia. Letters of acknowledgement to the Sisters. A grateful community tenders its thanks to Sister Herman for the noble, unselfish, and faithful services rendered to the helpless victims of the dire epidemic which visited South Philadelphia during the month of October in the year 1918, in attestation of which the officers of the Emergency Relief Committee of South Philadelphia have attached their signatures hereto. Samuel J. Buck, Alfred Hyman, Abraham Berkowitz, John J. Rome, Samuel E. Kratzik. The Board of Officers of the Jewish Hospital Association of Philadelphia wishes to express its sincere appreciation and thanks to Sister Alonzo for devoted, unselfish service and valuable assistance given in various departments of the hospital during the influenza epidemic of October 1918. Arthur A. Fleischer, President, Alfred Myers, Secretary. Appendix. In connection with the closing of churches during the epidemic, the following points seem to deserve notice and record. First, the action of pastors and rectors of churches was in accordance with the orders of civil authorities, the State Board of Health, city and local departments of health and public safety, as directed by the letter of His Grace, the Most Reverend Archbishop, which follows. Archbishop's House, 1723 Race Street, Philadelphia, October 4th, 1918. Reverend Dear Sir, we hereby direct your attention to the order of the Board of Health issued on Thursday, October 3rd, which prohibits the assemblage of all persons in the churches and schools of Philadelphia until further notice. Yours faithfully in Christ, D. J. Doherty, Archbishop of Philadelphia. Second, in many, probably all, the city churches, this order was given during the afternoon and evening of Thursday, October 3, when usually there are many confessions in our churches in view of communions for the first Friday. The notice to close was generally brought to the church or the rectory by the police then and there on duty. Some of the churches were closed, as reported to the compiler, at 6:00 p.m., others at 8:00. Permission was granted in some, at least, of the churches to allow the people to come to the church on Friday morning, October 4, for Holy Communion. This permission was granted when requested by phone from departments of health or public safety. Third, while formally and legally closed, the doors of churches were not locked, and attendance at private masses during the week and on Sundays was not forbidden. Devout and prayerful visits in acknowledgement of the real presence in the churches of the business section of the city were apparently quite as regular and frequent as in normal times. Fourth, some of the city churches tried to meet the difficulty by Mass in the open air on Sunday, October 6 and 13. There was no prohibition or public protest against this, so far as the compiler has been able to find, but the practice did not meet with general approval, and after the second Sunday was discontinued. Fifth, city churches were closed October 6, 13, 20. The permission to open churches for Sunday, October 27, was followed by unusually large crowds for confessions on Saturday evening, October 26. The list of the dead in the announcement at Masses on October 27 seemed almost interminable. In some churches, more than 100 names. Outside the city, the date for reopening the churches varied according to different views taken by local boards, and different interpretations given to the action of the State Board of Health in lifting the ban. Some country churches followed the order of city churches and assumed the right to open October 27. Others in the same townships and under the same local boards did not reopen until November 3rd. It would be very desirable indeed to have for our records, as a supplement to the work of the Sisters, a brief but authentic notice of the priests of the city and diocese who died victims of the influenza during the epidemic. But full and accurate information is now, August 1919, practically beyond our reach. Out of a list of 16 names submitted to the present compiler, he has found several points on which other printed accounts do not agree. He is unwilling, therefore, to stand sponsor for the accuracy of the list appended. Reverend Daniel Kennedy died at Ashland, Pennsylvania, October 10, 1918, age 29. Reverend Peter Katori of Don Bosco Institute, died in St. Joseph's Hospital, Reading, October 10, 1918. Reverend Henry J. Hebrick died at St. Ludwig's, Philadelphia, October 13, 1918, age 36. Reverend Joseph A. Carter, C.M., D.D., died at St. Vincent Seminary, Germantown, Pennsylvania, October 6, 1918, age 26. Reverend Joseph C. Tierney, C.M., died in St. Joseph's Hospital, Philadelphia, September 27, 1918. Reverend Joseph J. Murphy, D.D., died at St. Charles Seminary, Overbrook, Pennsylvania, October 15, 1918, age 38. Reverend Edward L. Gallagher died at Lost Creek, Pennsylvania, October 17, 1918. Reverend E. A. Hughes, O.P., died in St. Mary's Hospital, Philadelphia, October 18, 1918. Reverend John J. Dugan died at Gerardville, Pennsylvania, St. Joseph Rectory, October 27, 1918. Reverend John J. Paternacki died at McAdoo, Pennsylvania, October 25, 1918. Reverend James A. Campbell died at South Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, November 26, 1918, age 28. Reverend Jeremiah Mahon died at Rectory of St. Mary's of the Assumption, October 19, 1918, age 32. Reverend Emile Duser, CSSR, died in St. Mary's Hospital, Philadelphia, October 11, 1918. Reverend John H. Carman, C.M., died October 14, 1918. Reverend Joseph C. Doherty, C.M., D.D., died October 15, 1918. Add to these the names of 5 student clerics: Reverend William O'Driscoll, Deacon, C.M., who died at Germantown, St. Vincent Seminary, October 8, 1918. Leo Naylor, a seminarian and third-year theologian at Overbrook, and the 3 cleric students who died in St. Mary's Hall, Villanova: Albert Starr, October 15, John Dorgan, October 11, Gilbert Clunk, October 10. And we have the toll of death among the clergy in probably about the same proportion with the losses and sacrifices and the spiritual gain of the sisters. Francis E. TOURSCHER, Villanova, Pennsylvania, September 1919. End of Part 11. End of Work of the Sisters During the Epidemic of Influenza, October 1918, by Francis Edward TOURSCHER.